Okay, you've learnt about having an organised folder and the benefits of that. Next, let's look at an organisational technique that can really tackle any feelings of overwhelm that you have. And it's a really simple one. It's a to-do list. And unsurprisingly, I've not got a lot to contribute to this, but it's just something that I would seriously urge you to consider doing because it can have a huge benefit if you're feeling overwhelmed. It can be a massively powerful strategy to implement. One of the most important things about a to-do list is the satisfaction and the feeling of crossing things off once they are complete. That cannot be underestimated. I don't think it's just me, but I love crossing things off my to-do list. I have lists everywhere. It's how I manage my time and my brain capacity as well, to be honest with you. And I think a lot of the time when students get overwhelmed in their education, it's just because they've got so much going on. At GCSE, they're studying 10, 11, 12 subjects. They've got to keep on top of the workload for all of them, understand and remember all the different requirements for each subject. So it can be hugely overwhelming. And keeping it all in your brain is a surefire recipe for feeling overwhelmed and getting stuck and bogged down. So just getting things out of your brain and onto paper can make a huge difference. And similar A-levels, 3 or 4 subjects, huge quantities of information you have to retain. So help yourself out, help your brain out, and write things down in lists. So a to-do list it's pretty open how you do it. Everyone will have their own way of doing it. It can be as simple as that post-it note we just looked at, or it can be much more complex. My to-do lists have sub-lists within lists. I've got them set up and automated so I get reminders when something is due. So for me, it's very structured, and that works for me because I've got a busy life and I have to make sure I'm on top of everything. And I think the next point there is really important as well. A to-do list can span a day. It can be an hour, like all the things you want to achieve in an hour. It could be everything you need to achieve in a week, a year, 5 years. It doesn't really matter. Whatever works for you. If you prefer creating a new list every day, brilliant, do that. If you would rather create one long list that you're going to chop away at over the course of a couple of months, then do that. There's no right or wrong way to make a to-do list, for sure. And of course, it can be paper-based or digital. That is personal preference again. I love having it all synced in with my phone and my laptop. That works for me. But having said that, I will often scrawl a list on paper and pen if there's something that I really need to get out and written down quickly. And like I say, it can be hugely satisfying. It might not be for you, but try it. That feeling of completing a task, crossing it off and go, yeah, okay, I've achieved something today. That is a good feeling. It is a good feeling. So try it. It might work for you. It might be something brilliant. If you want to go digital, you can be as simple as complex as you like. I use the Reminders app on an iPhone. I think it's brilliant. It does everything I need it to do. I believe there's equivalent on Android. Google Keep is free and you can set up lists on that as well. But there are other apps you can use. There are paid apps, there are free apps. And of course there are just paper and pen as well. Whatever works for you. But just try it. Get down everything you've got in your head, all your deadlines, upcoming tasks, get them down on paper. So some tips here, be specific with those tasks. Don't be vague like revise history. Be really specific. What are you going to revise? What paper is it from? What are some of the key things you need to focus on? Be specific. Be granular. That means, again, this is advice from me. If you're going to put something down like revise history, then underneath that, as like a sub-bullet underneath it here, do topic 1, topic 2, topic 3, and then under there, talk about, the Tudors, Romans. Be really specific. Go into as much detail as you can, because the more little bits you have to cross off, the better. Use due dates and deadlines, set up reminders, colour code it, prioritise them if you can. Decide what's the most important, put them at the top, and then you'll feel better as you cross them off. And if you can, estimate timescales. So if you know you've got a bit of work to do that's going to take you 10 minutes, make a note of that on there, say 10 minutes. And then if you find yourself with a spare 10 minutes, you can look at your list and go, let's get something crossed off. And it will be so rewarding, and you'll just chip away at that list bit by bit, and you'll get that feeling of accomplishment at the end. So there, to-do lists, on the face of it, very simple, but can be very complex. Find what works for you and give it a go. You might have never made a list before. You might be a list king or queen, I don't know. But try it, see if it works. And if it does work, build it into your habits. Good luck.